Tell me about your DMT experience.
I forgot about that one. Well, that was another one of those scenarios where I just was like, okay, the people I love want to do this, and I have not researched it whatsoever. Very much my style in some aspects. But yeah, I mean, a crew of us were doing it. Probably like, 8 of us were doing it. And it felt really safe because we were here in this house, and had one group of people doing it, like 4 people doing it, and 4 people like holding space for the people doing it. So it felt very like I was ready. We dropped in with ceremony. We dropped in as a collective, just warm hug, energy. We were all just like singing songs. Like, I mean, you were there. So, but for everybody else, like it was, yeah, like I was going into it with so much confidence and no fear. There was no fear in me for some reason. And one thing is that I have never passed out in my life. Like I've never had the experience of actually passing out and losing consciousness. I've gotten like lightheaded and gotten close to that, but I've never lost consciousness and like gone black. So I think when we took it, I was still in that space of like grooviness, and I didn't take enough the first time. And so, as I would close my eyes, I would see like this rainbow kaleidoscope, and then these kind of like shadow beings that look like the big, like air, like what are those? The things that they use at like dancing car vans. Dealerships, the dancing man, like air guys or whatever. I felt like it was like those, but they were like dark shadows, but they were in front of a psychedelic like rainbow thing. And they were just like so sweet. I could just tell their energy was so good. And I was like giggling and smiling. I could open my eyes and everything was still the same in my house, and then I could close them and go back into that space. So I just had taken like a very small amount the first time. And so these spirits like came towards me with some kind of like something it was all black, like shadow. So they were like, here, take this. And they put something up my nose and they were like, breathe this in. And I was like, oh, thank you. And I don't really know what it was, but it was just like they were helping me out, and it was so sweet. And I was just like, I guess I was just giggling. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so great. Like this is what I kind of expected, but I think I was supposed to have more of an experience than that. So I decided to go again. Oh my God. Especially you and I. Our experiences together were quite funny and terrifying. But the second time I kept smoking it until I felt like I couldn't sit up anymore. And I think I took way too many hits. It was like too little the first time, too much the second time. Dosing is like a whole thing with all of these psychedelics, like playing around with doses. So that's when I like actually like started losing consciousness. And that's when I was like, oh, fuck. Because at that point, there's nothing I can do to stop it. It's happening, and I'm losing consciousness. I'm blacking out. And like I said, I had never had that experience. So it was just all of a sudden fear just came in because I was losing control. And there's nothing that we humans like less than losing our control in a lot of ways. And, DMT is like the drug chemical that blasts off in our brain when we die. And so I literally was like, fuck, I'm dying. Like that is what it felt like. I am losing this world and I am gone. But I only had like 1 second to think, and then I'm out. And then it was just like, it's like as if my body was put onto a little roller coaster cart, that's on like a track. But this is all very fast, by the way. Speed this up times 1,000 and put into a cart. And all of a sudden I'm shooting forward as if you're going into like a haunted house or It's a Small World or something. It's kind of what it felt like. And I was in this big gray room, and these huge gray doors in front of me just go, and it's black inside, and I just start going in. And like I said, this is at like 1,000 miles an hour. So I'm shooting in, And and that's when it just became utter chaos. And it was like I was on this ride going through, who knows what I was going through. It was like all colors and kaleidoscopes and like checkerboards and laughing clown Joker energy, but there weren't full faces of anything. It was just like, I knew that they were there. It was all super chaotic, super fast, super visually overwhelming. And the energy was like pretty, like, what did I say? It lacked the mother. The mother was not there. I couldn't find mom. I couldn't find someone to nurture me. It was all just like, you're on your own and we're laughing at you. That was the energy. The universe was like, ha 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 ha. There's like, so fucking creepy is how I explain it. And then I think I had so much fear in the experience that I was able to shoot out of it. My eyes went open really quickly, and you were sitting in front of me. So my eyes opened really quickly, and I'm looking around my house, and everything is just blank white at first. I'm just in blank white. It's all I can see. And I'm looking around, and I feel like I have been in whatever experience I was just in. I feel like I had been 1,000 years to infinity, and I didn't know when I started or when I ended. I didn't know who I was. I had amnesia. And so slowly you and Jenny start coming into focus, but you're like rainbow. So like you look like an angel that's all light, and rainbow sun wisps are coming off of you like a crown into the white. So it's white and like bright colors, which seems pretty cool, but I was still like dealing with amnesia. So I was looking at both of you and I was like, who and what are they? What am I? Did I kill myself? Did I get in a car accident? Like, I thought that I'd actually died, but I didn't know who I was. I didn't know I was Bailey. I was just like, I fucked up. I actually left my life on Earth and I died. It happened. I couldn't remember anything before that, so I didn't know how it happened. So overwhelming. That like 1 minute of time in my life was so overwhelming. And then you or Jenny would say something and your word would just fractal and repeat into infinity. So like I was in like this hazy vibe of a white space with the rainbows and stuff, and then you guys would say like, I know, no. And it would just go on forever. And I started to just be like, what the fuck? And finally, over that course of a minute, probably, the white started disappearing and the darkness of my house started appearing. And the first thing I saw were actually, I don't know if you can see that in the frame, but these houseplants were the first thing I was able to see. And I remembered myself as I was looking at them, and I was like, oh my God, I love you. It was like anything physical and alive was like my best friend in that moment. And I just woke up with all this gratitude for seeing all of you around me and seeing my houseplants. And I just like shot up as soon as I remembered who I was. and I just dogpiled like with whoever was next to me, which was like Johnny and Steven, and I don't know who else joined. But, and Steven's still tripping on DMT while I'm dogpiling him. Like I'm on top of him and he's still somewhere else. And I'm just like, oh my God, I love you guys. I just want people to hold me. I just wanted like physical contact, physical beings. And I felt so much gratitude to be in a human body for the first time. I was like, it felt like I had a near-death experience where I thought I had actually died and I got to come back to life. And so it was definitely hard to integrate that. As you know, both of us were like, what the fuck just happened? And I felt like I just had to laugh. It was so traumatizing in a way that I just had to like laugh about it because that was all I could do. But there was a big part of my integration actually that came through mushrooms later on that I could share. So probably, I don't know how many months later, maybe 4 to 5 months later, I did a very small dose of mushrooms on a camping trip, and probably like a gram, not like a full trip or anything. But I was sitting by the fire and I was like closing my eyes, and I was starting to kind of like go into that kaleidoscope experience again, where it's like all the crazy colors, like tunnels of light and color and shapes. And I was just like feeling so much anger after the DMT experience of like, why was I having this experience of death where I couldn't find the mother energy? I couldn't find the love. All I could find was like creepy, laughing, like you're fucked energy was kind of what I explain it like. And so I was just kind of mad at God in a way, because, you know, I grew up Christian, and I think I just had this moment of being mad at God for abandoning me. And when I think of God, I also think of mother energy. I think of something that feels nurturing in the cosmos at a base level. And I was kind of mad. I was like, where the fuck did you go? Like, where are you? You know, and that's what I was saying in this trip. And then it was like these entities again came through. And as I'm like going through these tunnels, they take it's hard to explain this kind of stuff, but basically the tunnel situation starts to curve like this, so that it's coming behind me and then it's shooting through my body and then coming out instead of me just going through it. So it was kind of like them describing to me, like, you think you're just a victim of your reality in this way of like, oh, your DMT trip, there was no nurturing and you were being made fun of and the universe was laughing at you. You're just a victim of that. That sucked. And then it was like, actually, if you want to find God, or you want the mother, you want nurturing, you actually become that. Like, you get to decide if there's nurturing in the universe. You get to decide that there's love in the universe. Like, that's up to you. Like, you're not a victim at all. Like, you want people to feel nurtured out there in the world, you nurture. You go out there and you nurture. And so it was just this huge like realization that it is up to me. And it was really empowering.